All right. Testing out something a little bit new here. Testing out this mic. So, alrighty. Got my headset in. Might be too loud, so sorry in advance. Hello, hello. Testing, testing, testing. All right. So, a part of me trying to upgrade the setup here for myself, especially moving into this new workshop, I want to do more cameras and things like that. Ooh. The audio quality is a little bit too good, so let me turn this down. But I got this device here. Let's see if that turns the volume down a little bit. Okay, good. Yeah, that's really good. So I got this wireless excuse me. So I got this wireless device here. So Tiny professional wireless microphone system. So this is actually so far so good. I am using my Surface Pro tablet, but I'm still using a Logitech camera, just so I can move things around, get different angles. Let me get in the frame here. And it has the receiver end, and then it comes with this like lapel mic, which is pretty nice. And then it also comes with the transmit end, and then the receiver end. Now, because I'm hooking it into my tablet, I have to use the TRRS cable to TRS cable, and that's mainly for those devices that actually have the audio and the input and output, so the microphone and the speaker all in one cable. So what you can see here is that as I'm talking, this is the transmit or the receiving side, and it's just picking up my voice, and I can actually lower the sound on this too, the volume. So that's pretty cool. So I can lower the volume on the input here, and then on the receiving end as well. What's nice about this is that I don't need the mic. It actually has a built-in mic here. It has a built-in mic right there. So that's really nice. And then I could just hook that to myself. But this is a little bit easier to work with and not in my face so much. So I'm just going to tuck this away. All right. And I try to have it to where it's down a little bit further from my mouth so you guys won't catch me burping all the time. I went out with my mom tonight. She said, "I'm gonna take you out on a date." And I'm like, "All right, man." Oh, there. So but she took me out. It was really nice, and we went to this little crab shack, so the seafood place. So I told her, man, I was like, "I'm not a cheap date, man. You better be ready to spend money." She was like, "I got it," and I was like, "All right, cool." But yeah, that was appreciated. Really appreciated. All right. So hopefully this is good sound still. Let me get out of the stream. Yeah, this is good. Actually, I'm gonna walk outside and see what it's like. See if it still picks things up. So even outside, I can still hear myself because I'm listening to myself in my earpiece. Wow, this is really good. There's a delay, so it takes me a second to like register that you guys can still hear me. So, all right, turn that off because that's getting annoying. All right, so yeah, workshop. So what I've done, there's been a lot of things that I've done in here since my last stream. I've been wanting to kind of work by myself in terms of just not having a stream, worrying about talking to people, interacting, and things like that. No offense to you guys, but it's just a little bit easier to work that way. So what I've done here is I've reran all the electrical redone all the electrical outlets. The white side, I have a little bit of color coding here. So this white side here, or these white plugs on this side, are switched, and these are always on. So those would be the black ones. But in this case, I have a USB, and that's for my smart home, the Akara Smart Hub, so a mini smart hub. So that one is always on, but it's not black. All the other ones in terms of the color code, if it's black, like that outlet over there for the TV, or future TV, that one's black, and that's where I'm gonna actually have I'm probably gonna have the 55-inch. I probably put in a 55-inch TV. I was looking at a 43, but I'm not gonna go that route. Excuse me. So here, I'm sure you guys heard that in like all its gloriousness. So I actually put in an electrical panel, or just mounted it, I should say, and I'm actually going to start wiring it because my dumbass, my smart switch, I think I burned the damn thing out because my dumbass had the my miter saw as I was building that bench, and I'm very proud of that bench. I had to even text my dad is a carpenter by trade, so he's been a carpenter probably before he had sperm. I don't know, man. Like, that guy's been a carpenter since he was like 15. So my dad, I sent it to my dad, said, hey, listen, man, a carpenter's son doing his thing. I messed up on a couple things with the belt sander, but I actually think it turned out pretty well for like my first piece of like furniture being built. And I think I did a pretty good job on it. I've done stuff in the past, but this one was like really nice. I think it was nice. But my dumb ass had that freaking miter saw over there hooked up to one of the switch outlets. And, I don't have proper power in here. So the lights go out and dim when I cut. So eventually the lights didn't come back on after they dimmed. They just cut out. I have no circuit breaker. So I fucking burnt the damn switch. And the switch turns on. It has like lights and stuff like that, but it won't switch the outlets on and off. So those outlets that I have that are switched are pretty much fucking dead. So I was just like, man, it's time to get a panel in here. And what I'll do is I'll still wire things up kind of all janky like you see at the bottom there. That's my power source coming in, and get the extension cable up there where it connects. But I'm going to wire that into the breaker panel, and then I'll have some breakers at least. And I'll start wiring some of the other stuff. I finally bought the proper cabling so that I can actually run the wires. This sheathed metallic cable right here. I bought some more of that. It's like $156 for 100 feet of that. So $1.50 a foot. So that's kind of expensive, man, for that damn cable. Like, I thought that was like way too much. I can get it off of Amazon for like $123, so $1.20 or 23 cents. But I kind of didn't want to wait, so paid the cost for that. You can see the lights dim because like this is connected to my pump house, and my pump house draws the pump itself draws electricity, and I got to make the electricity in there better as well, and hook it up to its own breaker. But what I've done here, and I can't see this, so hopefully I'm getting the right angles and everything for you guys. Yeah, I am. So I put up 8 foot by 4 foot sheets of plywood, ran the outlets, or put the outlets where I want them, put them in place. And then this weekend, tomorrow, I'll put the cables in place. What I'm going to do tonight is this first half here. Let me see if I got it in here. So this first half up to that box there, right there, I'm going to make a bench. So I'm going to put that bench in place and at least get started on it and do what I can. It's raining outside and it's also pretty dark. So I'm going to do what I can in here, especially with the miter saw. Now, onto this bench. Ugh. Oh, I also hung my punching bag too, so that's cool. But onto this bench. As far as this bench is concerned, so this bench is about 36 inches or 3 feet. I think it's like 33 inches actually. I wanted it to be 3 feet on the money so it can match up with the table that's coming out, or my workbench that I'm going to be building now or getting started with. But I guess I don't know. I guess I lost something in the measurement. I can fix it if I wanted to by just removing those bottom legs and extending it out a little bit more by probably about, I think it's like 33 inches. So not too far off, but I made some problems with the calculations, especially, or made some miscalculations at the end there. So I don't know what I did, but yeah, I obviously did it. So I had to use my circular saw to cut off the edge. Sorry, I had to use the circular saw to cut off the edge of the board here. So this like tabletop piece here, that piece alone was like 45 fucking dollars, and I only got it because it's a little bit thicker. Probably, I think it's like a half inch. Yeah, there we go. It's a half inch. Right. So that right there is a half inch, and I want it to be a little bit sturdier because I didn't want to put any wood in between the front legs and the back legs. So just to avoid that, I got a thicker piece of wood. But that piece was probably about 4 foot by 4 foot, and it still wasn't long enough. So I had this piece at the end here, which I think is, I mean, I could have returned the piece and got away with it and everything else, and done stuff. But I actually like the fact that I had to put this piece in there to fill in the gap, because now I don't have things can't just easily roll off. So it was actually, it's a feature, not a bug. I got these pressure treated pieces of wood here. These are, I think, 2 by 4 by 6 foot pieces. I have like a whole nother piece over there in the corner, so I'll find some use for that. I really wanted these damn pieces that I have down here. So this desk at least cost probably about 120 bucks in material, and then I just slapped everything together. My impact drill is the king. I mean, it's freaking great, and I use 3-inch drywall screws to put everything together. And this motherfucker's sturdy. So I got this actually drilled into the ground, which is stupid of me because I still have to move this motherfucker and put some what's it called, flooring underneath it. So I'm gonna have to remove all that. Oh God. So I'm gonna have to deal with that, but that's not a big deal because it's like one screw on either side over there, and then I got to take out this middle piece, which reveals the screw in the back right here, because this is actually drilled into the stud. What's it called? The framing studs for the building itself. So that son of a bitch don't move. But I actually really love the construction of this. It's leveled. That's great. If I had shorter, thinner pieces, not as thick as these here, I have to like cut these, and then I have to turn them around and then cut them on the other side, and then even then I still have to break it and then try and even flatten out the pieces. But I didn't see these at Lowe's because they're outside as opposed to being inside. So that's these pressure treated pieces of wood here, and these are 2 by 2 by 8 feet. So I was like, those would have been perfect. Those are exactly what I needed here, but I didn't find them until last night when I went to go get all of that wood there. Oh shit! So yeah, I got to get the power better in here. So I got to trench stuff out and everything. So a lot more work that needs to be done in this shop in general. But for me to trench it out, I mean, if I paid the electrician, it'll be about $3,000. So I might do it myself. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really proud of this bench. It's really sturdy. It's leveled. This will actually be my workbench where I'll assemble things, have a better camera setup so that I can actually, there we go. Have a better camera setup so that I can actually work on projects and then show you guys as I'm working on it, the stuff that I have to do by hand, working with servos or anything else. So that's kind of where that's going to be, or what that's going to be for. But you can see how I used, what's it called? I forgot what they call this saw. It's this saw. This saw here. So I use this saw to cut off the excess wood that was overhanging, because this is 33 inches, really roughly. And then of course that was going out to 4 feet. So had to cut off that excess wood. And then I bought a belt sander last night, and then I sanded the rest of that and got that kind of smooth. So, but I think what I'm going to do, like, because I'm not too worried about this being a nice, clean, finished edge or anything else like that. And then also here with the belt sander, I went too deep in one spot. I'm not too worried about that because one, I can always sand the wood down, replace it, put a whole nother piece across it since it's somewhat leveled. So I can drill a whole nother piece in front of that and I can cover that mistake up, if you will. But what I'm going to do is probably cover this with some type of, I had it here earlier. There we go. Some of this easy liner. So if I can use some of this easy liner and then staple it down with my staple gun there, I do have to get shorter staples. But if I could use this easy liner, maybe I could even glue it down for the most part and then use staples on the edges and things like that. That would be a good way of cleaning up or covering up a lot of that. And also, I like this easy liner because then the wood won't get, it's black and everything won't get lost in the wood. So, or on the wood or anything else like that. And also, it'll be a much nicer surface for my soft, gentle hands. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing that. All right. But yeah, I'm really proud of how everything's looking this year. The pegboard should be coming tomorrow. I'll be doing another stream working in here again. So putting this up, that was pretty nice. The biggest thing is like the electrical. So I'll probably be doing 3 different streams this tonight, tomorrow, probably all day, and then maybe Sunday. I might take a break on Sunday, but I'm gonna try and do as much as I can. I definitely want to get the first 8-foot bench put in place here. So from here all the way over to that first outlet, and that's going to be 8 feet right there. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, so it'll be 8 feet right there. And then I have to decide what I'm going to do for the other 8 feet, because on that side is where I'm going to have the table saw and the miter saw. So I'll have like a station for those. And as far as my miter saw, I'm going to have it towards the front of the bench. And I'm contemplating actually pushing this out to about 4 feet. So 4 feet will be right about at the seam here. So you can kind of see it. So right about out to that seam will be about 4 feet. And as you can see, the desk falls just a little bit short of that. So if I get it out to 4 feet, no, 36 inches is not just short of that, but it'll be quite a bit longer than that. Sorry. But, so no, it won't be at the seam. I am totally off with my measurements because these planks here, they go a little bit underneath the, and that was part of my confusion here, but they go a little bit underneath these framing studs or the framing pieces here. So this 4 feet should come out to probably right where that piece of plastic is on the ground. Anyways, we'll measure it out. You can't really see the plastic. It's because it's transparent. But yeah, I think I'm going to do 4 feet. And I'm going to do 4 feet. We're thinking about doing it because having space for that miter saw, you can kind of see on the back, it has the guides. So me being able to swing, to slide that back and get the full motion of the miter saw, that's one thing. And then also all the table saws that I'm seeing, they come with like extension pieces and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna have to orient this a different way. I'm also gonna put in another plug just for that. That's or a switch plug, just like I have up here. So this is for lighting. But I'm gonna have another switch plug. Sheed we here, man. Oh man, appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I think you're the only one here besides myself. Like I think I logged out. But yeah, definitely hit the like. So appreciate you for that, man, as always. But this plug is another switch plug, and that's just for the lighting that I'm going to have across the top here. So that's why I have that. One of the reasons why I have the overhang there. So I'm going to have another switched plug underneath somewhere along this lines, probably underneath that plug outlet. Yeah, I see you, Sheed. So yeah, bro, like you know how it is, man. People catch the playback. It's 12 o'clock at night, and I'm probably gonna be working for another 2 hours doing this type of stuff. But yeah, probably have this another switch plug underneath here, and it'll have its own circuit back to my panel. And I'm gonna actually put another board behind that panel for the bottom mounting screws. So I'm gonna do that actually right now. That'll be the first thing I do. But have its own circuit for that table saw because it draws so much electricity, and I don't want that to be a problem with have its own circuit. Also, kind of in the back, you can kind of sort of see it. It is right about there. I have an outlet for my speaker system, so I'm definitely going to have a Sonos speaker in here. I'm probably going to buy them used because expensive. They're really expensive new, and then I'll have another one hooked up there. Right above the TV. So that's the spot where I have the TV now. I'm probably going to just sand that down a little bit to get rid of the marks that I did, and then put the TV probably on this stud, and then only have it going across two studs as opposed to going across three. And I think that'll be more than adequate in terms of mounting. I will be getting the TV mount tomorrow. I will be measuring it out, but I won't mount it. But I'll measure everything out in terms of how the top and top and bottom distance of the wood so that I can put it across here. And I won't mount it until I get the TV because I want the TV to pretty much the top of it be right at the top of the what's it called? The frame here. The frame. Yeah, the frame here. So I'll probably have it like right below that, just for when I have to run electrical wire. I don't want to have to like run around the TV or anything else like that. I don't want to have that problem. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and then I think that's enough explanation. Let's get to fucking work. All right. One of the first things I'm gonna do is cut some wood. So it'll get loud, and what I'll do is I'll mute this mic. It has this really nice mute feature on it. Like, you just press the power button and it mutes it. So that's really nice. And then you do a long press for this transmit unit. You do a long press, and then that turns everything off. So that's I think that's pretty nice. I do have to do some cleanup, so you guys can watch that. All right, so let's orient this thing how we need it to be. Oh, okay, I can clip this. I can clip the mic piece or the transmitter or the receiver to the back of my surface. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I like how this works out. Like, I can clip the receiver here just to the back of it. So that's really nice. And even if I walk away from the computer or anything, I don't have to shout or project my voice. Roadcast mic. No, this is a Sokani Tiny mic, or Sokani Tiny. This was probably about $100, and there was a coupon. Dan 007, man. But yeah, this is Sokani Tiny mic, and I was looking at the Rode something mic. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, I ended up getting this, and then there was actual coupon on it. I think a 20% off, and I got it for like $85 and some change. I think because of taxes and stuff like that. But so far so good, and I'm learning how to use the whole thing. Dan, what's up, man? Yeah. Late night working on the bear cave. I like that. I had to put that up. Yeah, Dan, thanks for reaching out to me the other day, brother. I really do appreciate that. And that's like one of the things that's nice about this space when we connect with people that we like, content creators, and then of course the people in the comment sections, people in the chat and everything like that. It's nice that we form these bonds and we make contact with one another. And just reach out to one another, say, hey man, how you doing? Everything okay? So on and so forth. And that's a very important thing. And I think that's something that as this space becomes monetized, if you will, whether people say they are a part of this space or aren't a part of this space, sadly, a lot of people want to say that they're not a part of the space, but then they enjoy all of the fruits and the labors of the people that came before them that really established the space, really established things like definitions and talking points and fleshed out a lot of these things. So it's great when somebody, somebody that we reach out to one another and say, "Hey, bro, you okay? Just wanted to check on you," so on and so forth. And I think that's very important. So I appreciate you, Dan, for doing that. Whether you wanted the shout out or not, I do want to say that I appreciate you for doing that, bro. Let me prop this thing up. I really like the fact that I could walk around and then I don't have to like project my voice and it's coming through clear. And I hope it's not too loud. I did adjust it earlier. All right. So prop this up. Thing about the tablet, of course, it's made for you to be sitting in front of it. But if you're doing like long angles like I'm doing, or I think, yeah, this would be good. Yeah. All right. Let's clean this area up a little bit. I think I'm going to return. I bought the belt sander, and then I also bought this cordless orbital sander as well, or random orbital sander. And I was watching this guy doing a review, and he was like, no point in getting a battery, especially if you hook up the vacuum hook attachment to it, which I will be doing to this 16-gallon Craftsman wet dry vac. I've had this for a while, ever since I got in the house. It's a great tool. I love it. It keeps things clean. But I will be making it like kind of permanent underneath this whole workbench that I'm going to be building. And then I'm going to do all the attachments so that the dust doesn't go all over the place, even for the Ryobi and whatever, what's it called? Workbench or table saw that I get. So I will be doing that and making things a little bit cleaner. Right now, I kind of use my Craftsman cordless. Like, I use the Craftsman products, not so much because they're good. It's just my first drill was Craftsman, and then you get the batteries and attachments and stuff like that, or the batteries. And once you get the batteries and you get all the chargers and stuff, you're in. You bought into the product line and everything else like that. So even this is really good. This is great around the yard. You get the extended battery with it. Get this with a weed whacker. I got this as a set. That's really nice. That came with another charger, more batteries. So after a while, man, you buy one. You at that point you bought in. A lot of stuff in here. A lot of outlets and stuff. I will be setting up my Sonos speaker system in here and extending it out to this part of into the shop, since I got wireless in here. And then I can listen to my audiobooks. I've been listening to a great audiobook. You guys may have saw the video, but I was just listening to it, and it's just great. It's Red Rising. It's the Red Rising series. The part that I was listening to on the video I put out was Red Rising Morning Star. And that was a great part of that book. And it was like, it invoked a lot of emotions, especially in me. I loved it. It was great. I broke my first belt last night while sanding, and most likely because I was just sanding in a bad way, or doing the wrong thing. But yeah, I broke my first belt. Thankfully, I had bought extra belts, so that wasn't a big deal. So this thing is like super messy. Stuff all over the place. Putting stuff all over the place. But I want to clear this area off so I can work on it. Oh. But this will be this is like one of the big reasons why I want better organization, better ways that I can organize. I got the pegboards coming tomorrow. They were shipped by Amazon, so everything says it's going to arrive tomorrow. So excited about that, and just broke that. It's raining outside too, so But it's like, you know, we had a cold snap, so it was like 20 degrees here. Sunday, let me remove this. There's 20 degrees here on Sunday, 22 degrees. So that sucked. And then it killed a lot of my freaking plants. There's a video that I'm going to put out. I just haven't posted it. There's another video I haven't posted, but something I just did real quick from my phone. But yeah, sadly, my damn plants died. The cold snap just killed a couple of my plants. My freaking bromeliads, which are very colorful, nice plants, indoor plants, and some other stuff. So, semi fucking pissed about that. Is what it is. I'm gonna put some plants in here as well. What I'm planning on doing is adding some more. Probably make some other runs, and I'll have the plants. So, for instance, on some of these, well, you can't see it, but on some of these, the rafters or, you know, support for the roof, what I'm going to do is hang some plants, but then I'm going to have an outlet right above it with a light socket, and I could show you really. Where are they? Here they are. So you could take something like this. All right, cool. So you could take something like this. Oh, okay. You could take something like this with a gang box and then have the light socket outlet. This is what came with the building. So I'm going to put this back in use. You're supposed to use not the square gang boxes, but the hexagon, hex or octagon square boxes. But yeah, I think this is octagon. Yeah, it's 8 sides. So you're supposed to use the octagon boxes. You put it on here, twist it in, and then you can actually have a light on it. And then you can actually get those grow bulbs, or yeah, the grow bulbs for your what's it called? Yeah, your usual grow bulbs. So you can put a grow bulb on it, and then I'm gonna put a timer to the circuit. So that'll be its own circuit just for the plant lighting. And I'll put a timer on it to where it'll turn on certain times of the day. So the plants can get, you know, daylight hours lighting and then nighttime lighting as well. Maybe, depending on the plant. You can switch it up and do whatever you want with that. I see a comment here. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a good idea. Don't know if I mentioned it here, mentioned it before, but put a steel plate under the weight area so you don't punch a hole in the floor if you drop a 45 or a dumbbell. So actually that's damn, I never thought about that. Now, one thing I could do also, so the steel plate, I'm not too sure about that because of the cost, but what I could easily do is probably put, and that's a good idea, is probably put a couple more sheets of plywood down in that area to reinforce it. That's actually a really fucking good idea. So I might be doing that. So I might just have an area that's raised in here, probably just right underneath the bench. Yeah, that'll probably be the best thing to do because I want clearance for the door. And that's where the metal sheet would actually be a lot better because it's going to be thinner and stronger. But that's a great fucking idea. Thank you for that, Dan. Or Don, sorry. Okay, keep on saying Dan. I can't read worth shit, I guess. But no, that's a really good idea, dude. Thank you for that. The plywood would be a little bit cheaper for me because I can probably get, not probably, but I can get a 8-foot by 4-foot piece of plywood, cut it to size for that area, and probably I can even double up on it because I think they come as I think these are 1/4 inch. Yeah, it's about a 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch? No, that shit about a 1/2 inch, man. Yeah, that's a 1/2 inch. Wow. Okay, it's a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. What the hell is this then? Oh, this is an inch. No way. I wonder it costs more fucking money. Yeah, it's about an inch. It's a little bit less than. Oh, in terms of like building this desk, I have a pre-existing glass desk that I've used for, man, like 6-7 years actually. I didn't know this because like Google will remind you like your memories from 6-7 years ago. I didn't know, but I had this desk for like 6-7 years now, and I measured it and measured the height, and that's how I got the height of this desk. Because that desk works out great. The only thing is, I'll have my keyboard probably on top here as opposed to on the bottom, and I'll probably get an El Cheapo one maybe because it's going to get dusty in here, and I don't really feel like trying to care about that. So I might get an El Cheapo one, and then of course blow it out every so often with the blower. We'll leave this up here. I usually don't connect power until I use it or until I'm ready to use it. I got these pretty cool connectors too, man. Like these for the electrical, for the gang boxes, you just push them in, as opposed to these connectors here, which you push in and you screw. So like when you have that metal sheath cable, you push it through here and then you screw it down, and this clamps the metal sheath cable in place, as well as extending this piece here so that it tightens up and expands into the hole that you put it in. I think this is 3/8 or something like that. No, this is 1/2 inch. So this is for like a 1/2 inch. This is also 1/2 inch, this is also 1/2 inch, but you just push it in instead. But yeah, these I got a nice pack of these. I think like 50 of them. What is it, 50? Yeah, it's like a 50 pack, or no, 25 pack. So yeah, it's for the 1/2 inch or 1/2 inch knockout or 3/8 trade size. I don't know what that is. I don't know what trade size is. But I'll be using these to go into the. I'll be using these to go into my electrical panel as well. But let's finish cleaning this thing off here. I got stuff all over the place, and this is why I got to organize this stuff. And I'm really excited about this weekend, really doing some more organization in this space. All right, so I'm going to mute this mic. So hopefully this works for your sake. So I just got to remember to unmute that stuff. So, but that's I like that as a feature. Let me mute it again, see what happens. Okay, this is cool. So it'll show you a readout of your voice as you're talking. As you're talking. So that's pretty cool. And then when you mute it, it just goes dead and you don't see anything. So you know you're muted. Why not a vacuum? I do use a vacuum, but to be very honest, this place is so dusty and all fucked up that I don't care. I really just don't. So it's easier to blow it off and then vacuum it later. What I will be doing is once I clear all, once I get stuff, once I'm done with most of the woodworking in here, and then of course putting down the flooring, I'm going to go through and then do the sweeping, vacuuming, and then blow it all out. So right now that's mainly because one, lazy, and I don't care as much because I'm going to be making a whole bunch more dust here in a second. So vacuum is good too, though. I mean, of course, I can always vacuum. Let me test this one thing out in my damn electrical panel. I wanted to see how this would look. Oh yeah, this is going to be perfect. This is going to be perfect. So I'll be working more on the electrical panel stuff. Of course, I'm off camera now, but I'll be working more on the electrical panel stuff tomorrow. So I'll be doing all the knockouts and everything, and running some wires around and stuff like that. I might still be working on this bench for today or tonight. I'm going to work on the mounting bracket behind behind the electrical panel, and then start on the legs and the framing for the workbench. So let's get going on that. And this is another reason to use a vacuum, is that you don't blow stuff all over the place. So now I don't know where my other glove is. Great. There it is. All right. I always try to use gloves, man, because around wood, I always catch a fucking splinter, dude. I hate that shit. It's always been like that ever since I was a kid. I got soft hands. You know, it is what it is. Hello, hello. I can't see the mic volume on here. But no, you guys should hear me anyway. All right, so that piece, measuring it out, is probably about 46 inches, I think. So let's measure that sucker out. I don't feel like moving the camera around too much. And this is, again, why I want a better camera setup altogether, because then I could move these cameras. Yeah, 46. Like 46 and 1/8. If I do 46, I can get away with it. But this is another reason why I want like a better camera setup. Probably using like OBS or Streamlabs or something like that, whichever one. I can get some scenes going. So 46, and that's a quarter. That's a half. That's a quarter. That's an eighth. So 46 and 1/8. With OBS, I can do a lot better in terms of, you know, switching up the different scenes. I'll have a computer for that. Also with the TV, I'll probably put a feed up to there so I can see myself, and if I'm having bad angles. Also having static angles. Well, they'll all be static angles, but having section-specific angles. So I'll be using some like Amcrest. The plan is to use some Amcrest security cameras. They have 4K security cameras. I'm looking for a marker. They have the Amcrest security cameras, and with those cameras, you can actually set them up as IP cameras. And then there's like the G-Stream plugin or something like that for OBS. And with the G-Stream plugin, you can actually do, so let's measure this. With the G-Stream plugin, you can do, with the G-Stream plugin, you can actually do IP cameras, and they won't look won't look too choppy. I mean, they're not made for streaming or anything, but you know, you could use them to draw this line across. So I'll mark it with just a regular Sharpie, and then I will use, again, this is why I got to clean this shit up, but I threw stuff all over the place last night or day before yesterday. There it is. Because I use this stuff in different areas at different times and everything like that. So it looks super messy right now, but I cannot wait to clean this thing up, and I'll keep on saying that. Excuse the. That's the thing about having like a better mic, is that y'all are going to hear everything that comes out of my nose and my mouth. So I'll use an L somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey, listen, take this L. But somewhere I do have an actual speed square, which would be even better. If I cannot find it, and I don't want to, I know I have it. I have the picture in my mind of how it looks, but I can't find it. I also can't find the new, what were they called, man? New bolt cutters that I have. I can't even find those. And I just bought those like not even 2 months ago, a couple months ago. I'm kind of pissed about that. I don't know where I put those, man. And I hope, like, you know, one of the guys that was working in my house didn't take this shit. All right, so we got our 46 inches. Often when I actually measure something out, what I'll do is just to remember which way I need, like which piece I need. If I need the piece that's going on this side or this side, I just put a quick arrow on it. I can make these markings because they're going to be hidden anyway. So one thing that's going to be nice, and one thing I also like about this this desk, in terms of a working height, this is a good working height. 3 feet is a good, 3 feet is a good, so this is about 2.5 feet tall, probably a little bit more with this half-inch thick. So this is, excuse me, 2 feet, maybe 7 inches at the most in terms of height. Again, you know, I'm sorry that you guys hear everything. That's why I say excuse me a lot on my videos, and it's because I'm burping. Because usually it's after I eat or something like that. It's like when I choose to make my damn video. So now with this mic, you're gonna hear all of that. Oh God, I gotta listen to the playback and see how like all of this sounds too. But this is a good working height. My bench, I'm gonna have that a little bit higher because this is okay to look down on something and work on something, which is why I wanted this a little bit lower. Also, I wanted it lower so my chair slides underneath. It's a good height so I don't have to put my hands up too high or anything like that. Because I noticed even when I was sitting at where this is what the computer's on right now, when I was sitting, this is a Craftsman toolbox or rolling toolbox. But I noticed is like, you know, the chair what I was using was low, but then even with this chair, it's still like, okay, decent, but I want it to be a little bit higher, especially if I'm standing. So if I'm standing, I want this to be about 3 feet, 3 inches is where I'm comfortable with. So 3 feet, 3 inches is 3 inches underneath the electrical boxes that I have on the wall. And you'll see that in a second. All right, so you can see lights go out. That's the part that sucks, and I do have to get that. I will be getting that fixed. All right, simple as that. More talking than it does take to cut it. So that's another thing about like gloves. I can just put my hand over that. All right, so let's get this impact drill. These impact drills, like, you know, this set, you can buy them separately or in a set, but I love this. Like, I got this in a set along with the regular screwdriver, and I never understood the importance until now. I'm starting to drill into things that are a little bit harder to drill into, and this impact driver is freaking amazing, and I love it. All right, so that's that. Give me a sec before I turn the camera around to show you what we're working on. Just make sure this is good. I don't have to cut more off or anything. Yeah, this is too much. No biggie, because yeah, it's no biggie because I'm gonna move that. All right, cool. Let's move some stuff here. All right. Also, check out Friedman's Journals channel. He actually just posted his first video, so that's really awesome. Friedman's Journal, I had him on my channel a couple days ago, really, like a week or so ago. And we talked about, you know, just social programming and why people are giving up their right to own. You know, a lot of people give up the right that they have to actually own. And, you know, you have to earn that. It costs money to do so, to own a home. But a lot of people would rather rent than actually own a home, which is kind of crazy. You know, when you really think about it in terms of long-term investment and everything like that, a lot of people are giving away their right to own, and that's a sad thing because now you're looking at always paying rent, you know, and everything just to live, especially into your latter years, which is why, you know, the number that Kevin Samuels always talks about, which is the number of probably about $1.5 million or $1.2 million to $2 million, especially depending on the area that you live in, the state, city, and all that, that you're going to have to pay to, take care of yourself in retirement. So what if I said to you, you can move to a rural area like where I live and you can get away with 300 grand? Well, you know, you're not going to be close to the city. Probably an hour and a half north of Jacksonville, from the heart of Jacksonville, 45 minutes away from the state line. But it takes me about close to an hour just to get to like the outskirts of Jacksonville and get back onto like 95 in that area. So with that, you know, I'm okay with that. Some things I do miss, such as what the hell I'm trying to do right now. Where are my screws at? Some things I do miss, but to be very honest, I would not change or go back on the decision I made to buy my home, to actually go into ownership versus possibly renting a nice little apartment in South Florida, you know, because South Florida is extremely expensive. I was looking at a place today, just really quick, because the numbers were amazing. I was talking to, actually, no, I think it was yesterday. I was talking with our brother Lionel of the space, and there's the screws. And he was saying, you know, we were just talking about it, and just the prices, man. Just the prices to rent something is $2,200. You're paying for a 1 bedroom. You're paying about $2,200 a month for a 1 bedroom. And this is again a 1 bedroom in the city that I used to live in, which is the city of Plantation. Really nice suburbs, somewhat bustling in terms of, and really well connected too. So you're really close to the airports and everything else like that. And it's just extremely expensive for damn near no reason. I mean, there's a reason, but the reason ain't good enough for me. Fuck that. All right. It's going to be a little bit loud. Maybe not. Okay. Keep that. All right, see what we can do here. Just change the bit out. Oh my goodness. So usually what I do is when I hang this stuff, again, my markings, I usually keep it to the inside so you don't see it anymore. All right, perfect. So I got a little bit of give and room here. So I'm going to mount this flush with this box here. And I got another piece of wood that I might have to put in here in between. Putting these studs in place, of course, is a lot cheaper than putting a whole piece of plywood. A whole piece of plywood is nice, but it's overkill. It's not necessary. And something like this, I'll use the tip of the screw, mark where I want it to go. And then also I'll just, in this case, I'll just keep it in there. And I just need one screw in there first. This is the hard part. So going nice and gentle. So, all right, now just adjust it here. And I want this piece flush with the stud. And then also flush with the bottom. So, oh, that dust. I'm not allergic to dust, but another reason to use a vacuum, right? So this is where it is at rest when it's resting on its top mounting screws. Here should be good. All right, give it enough pressure to where all right, cool. So now I'll let that, well, that's stuck in place. That's good. Let me find my level. Oh, goodness. Probably hear a mouse pissing on cotton with this damn mic. I just had that level. I'm starting to feel like a little bit of the cold out here. It's like 60 degrees, but it just finished raining, so it's probably a little bit cooler. It's like 60 degrees with the breeze and everything. Fucking levels right there. All right. All right, cool. So I'll use my level, of course, just to level it out and get it in a nice spot. And then also with stuff being leveled, man, not everything is level. So you might just have to, that screw is at the top, I believe. So I'll put this one at the bottom. And with your screws, unless they're pre-drilled holes, you have to be careful putting it towards the end of the piece of wood because it could split it. So you don't want that. And over time, I've just gotten better with this, like, you know, getting that purse bit in there. And then, of course, working with the drill itself, you know, making sure that it's not over too much torque or anything else like that. And still making sure that it's still. And then keeping it in place, too. So I don't just like drive this sucker in. Like I almost do like you do when you're shooting. You kind of double tap and then reassess, double tap, you know, that type of stuff. So I'll do that. And if it moves, then I can adjust it before it actually sinks into the mounting stud or where it's being mounted to. Right. Cool. That ain't moving. And it's leveled. Hell yeah. That's one also nice thing is you get a magnetic level for stuff like this. And then you can see that this box is not fucking leveled. And this box is not leveled, not because of the boards. It's not leveled because of the screws. And I thought I leveled the screws, and they're not. But it's not that bad. And what I'll do is I put like a one in the middle. I usually put two on the ends, one in the middle if it's running across another one. And that just adheres it to. And that just adheres it to, or keeps it in place, especially even if it's centered. And that's the last screw I put in, or, see, and that was dumb. One of the last screws I put in. All right. Jeez. I used to work at Motorola there in Plantation. Yeah, man, that Motorola in Plantation, my sister used to work there. I don't know if you, she looks kind of like me. My sister Raquel used to work there back in, man, early 2000s, I think she used to work there after my nephew was born. My nephew was born like 2001. So she used to work there, man, like 99, 2000s. And she worked the night shift. I don't know how long she worked there, though. And now that whole campus, that whole Motorola campus has been converted to MindSpark is another company out there. They do augmented reality. They're actually owned by AT&T, I think now. And MindSpark is out there, and quite a few other companies as well. But they've turned, instead of just being Motorola alone, it's like, you know, it's a couple places. And then even that Motorola, even that whole area, not gentrified, but they've done quite a bit in terms of upgrades. I mean, Plantation's already well developed and everything like that. So this is tilting. How does it? Okay, let me see. Okay, so this side needs to go up. And I probably put all new screws in here. This thing's not, either the screw's not magnetic or this is not magnetic. I don't think this is magnetic. But that semi pisses me off when it does that. What I'll do is I got one screw in there that's good. Keep that right there. Don't move until I say so. Man, fuck this. All right, so what I'll do is I won't so much worry about that screw for now. I might use like a washer or something like that. I have to get washers for these screws, with this size screw. Another problem is, even if I screw it in, these bottom holes, okay, whatever. It's kind of dictated by the top holes. And as far as the bottom holes are concerned. Oh, shit. Are you going to bring service directly to the shed? Extend the service from your home to the shed? I'm going to bring service direct. I'm going to bring service from my home to the shed. So I already got a quote. It's going to be $3,100 to bring service, extend service from my home about 100 feet to this shed. Also, what I'm going to do, and I may do it myself. We'll see. But $3,100 covers, putting in the breaker panel, which I'm doing myself now. And I'm only doing this because I blew a freaking switch, so I need the electricity. I need even in this temporary state, I need the electricity to be better. But to dig a trench up to code, which is I think more than 8 feet or something. No, 8 inches or something like that. 8 inches. And dig a trench big enough for probably a 3-inch conduit, which I don't need because you could use direct burial cable. I'd rather have the conduit and run the cable in that because I want to do some solar and stuff like that too in my current pump house or / shed. So that pump house, I'm going to convert. I'm going to clean that up once I get this ready. Clean that up. Take whatever I don't need in there, like garden tools and stuff like that, will stay in there. And then here will be the workshop stuff. And then clean that up. I should have one nice wall that's kind of empty. And then I'll start putting batteries in there. I'll probably make a shelving system for it. We'll see. I'll probably make it myself since I'm getting better at this. And, put some battery power, so what's it called? Solar panels on top of the roof on this roof here as well for this shed, for this workshop. I like to call it a workshop because this is bigger than a motherfucking shed. But technically, I guess it would be called a shed. But put solar panels on top of here and do some other stuff. And then in that same 3-inch conduit, run power back to the house so I can supply power to certain appliances and things like that. And maybe lower my bill. My bill currently is probably about $255. No doubt it'll raise a little bit because I've lived here for over a year. And now they're going based off of my actual uses versus the previous owner's use. So we'll see what happens with that. But so I'm going to be doing quite a bit, and I'm going to be running service. I'm going to extend service from my home out to here. So new service, I might do new service if I get a larger shed in the back. Now, I don't need a larger shed. I wanted to get like a really big shed and do some stuff with that. But to be honest, man, I'm liking this shed and how it's running. So, okay, so let me get this here. Block this guy. All right. Okay. Okay, that's the way I did it as well. Upgraded the box on the home and trenched into the shed just like you were doing. Yeah, and that's the plan. Like it still remains to be seen if I'm going to do it or get somebody else to do it. The only reason I would have other people doing it is peace of mind. So I know there's some electrical because the guy that lived here before, he would do a lot of stuff himself, and of course he knows where everything is. He knows where all the bodies are buried, so to speak. So the only thing I worry about is some of my drainage pipes because I have I have septic out here. And I think I could do the city stuff, but for sewage. But I have septic. I have water from the city, but septic for my for all my sewage, and then of course a leach field. But then I also have, and because of that, since it's not in the city, the water that runs from my washing machine and was coming from my actual kitchen sink was running out into the yard. Now, per code, you're not supposed to have your kitchen sink run into your yard because it's considered raw sewage. Didn't know that, so I got that cleaned up and I got that fixed with the plumber, and he cleaned up a lot of stuff, man. Like really did a great job, and I'm really glad to have him as a person to do work. Um, and then and then the only thing is just my washing machine drains out to the to the yard itself, and that is acceptable. So I probably should get like detergent that, keeps that in mind per se. I don't know if they actually make that detergent. I would assume they do. I think I answered the questions. But yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing with my shed is to trench out. And the trencher with treads as opposed to like regular tires where you have to do things like, it's harder to move it around supposedly. That the trencher with actual treads on it or tracks or whatever is $175 a day to rent it out. On the quote that I got from the electrician, they were charging $125 a day for theirs. So they actually, I think they're that's another reason why I'm looking at them, because it's like they actually gave me a decent price, and I know how much it costs for that material, for that line item, so to speak. Oh yeah, that's super strong. I know how much it costs for that line item. So for what they actually charged me, I was not. I don't feel bad about it. I think it's actually a really good price. Half of that is materials, like $1,600 of it is materials, and then the other half, of $1,500, is. Hold on. That first freaking pilot hole is the most annoying one. Definitely need to get some washers for this. All right, so that panel's on, and it is square. It is leveled. Yeah, it's leveled to the bottom of that. Yeah, so I think they gave me a pretty fair price on that, and I may or may not go with them. We'll see. I might do it myself. And the only reason I would do it myself is that I could get it done sooner than later, rather than having to save up $3,000. I probably only have to save up half of that, if that. Most of the stuff is going to be a conduit. Now, the direct burial cable, the only reason I don't want to do it and just have PVC put into the ground is just in case anything happens with digging or anything else like that. I want to protect it. Now, that's not a big issue with the direct burial cable. Like, you dig it deep enough. Oh, excuse me. You dig it deep enough and you know where it is, then it's not really that big a deal. So I could be worrying about nothing, and that could just be my inexperience talking. All right, cool. So, all right, that's good. What I want to do here, I don't want to run some cables yet. I would have to cut off the power, so that'll cut off my lights here, just so I can work with this outlet. So what I'm going to do is maybe wire up some outlets. Nah, that's going to be kind of boring. Let's cut more wood. So I'm going to start working on the legs and measuring out the legs for the bench, the first half of the bench, and then going from there. So the legs on the bench should be about, oh man, 3 feet 3 inches is the height of the bench. But the legs on the bench should be a little bit less than that, depending on how I'm going to mount stuff to the actual bench. Okay, it's looking good here. Looking good in there, big bro. Thank you, G. Appreciate that. Great craftsmanship. Only the best. But I appreciate that, man. Okay, Stan Shelton. Yeah, I let an electrician upgrade my box on the home, and FPL shut off the power for that upgrade. Then I took it from there. So, good point, right? So, what I was thinking about is, let me just turn this around. I have like an actual turntable in my house, so I might actually get that, until. But yeah, so that's a good point. We'll leave that up there. So, in the in my home itself, I have my panel. My panel's totally full. But there's some breakers that are hot. They need to be are a little bit too warm. They need to be labeled better. Is this plugged in? I don't like being next to like my fucking power tools and them shits be fucking plugged in. Like I'd be like, bitch, you kind of close. So, but I always unplug my shit. But so some of the breakers that I had were a little bit too hot or warm, from what the guy was saying, and then a lot of things need to be labeled properly, and then I need to make proper space for the for another 100 amp breaker. So what I'm probably going to have the guy do is actually come in, do that work, right, and say like maybe even if I can get it done piece by piece, right, but have him come in, do that work, and then I just run the trench, because the biggest thing I worry about with the trench is running into a pipe, something that I can't get past myself, and I don't have the skills nor the tools to get past. So when I get that trencher, man, it's going to be $75 for it to be delivered, because otherwise I'd have to get my own trailer or have somebody else do it. But $75 delivery, and that'll be $175 a day. So with that being said, I mean, you're looking at $250 right there just to do all that. So and then of course the conduit, putting that in, putting all that together, and that's not hard. PVC glue, and you can actually do that in your house. Well, you shouldn't do that in your house. I could do it, you know, I could do it somewhere else. PVC glue has a very noxious and toxic smell. But that's what I might do, is just have him work the inside panel, and that needs to be done anyway, electrically speaking, because that panel is, there's just a lot in there, and I don't know where everything is going. So I might even pay $1,000 maybe to rework some things, and that's kind of like a theoretical budget. What does that include? I do not know. I'm just pulling that arbitrary out of my ass. So I may not really need to pay that much to redo the panel. I have paid $900 last time when I lived in my mom's house, to get that panel upgraded to a larger panel, and add some more breakers and some other stuff. So it was about $900 to do that. So once we got that upgraded, I was able to do some other electrical stuff in the home. Because I was running like a mini data center for personal stuff out of there. So yeah, my friend used to call it Mama's house hosting. All right, so what we're gonna do, but yeah, so that's a good point, and that's what I'm gonna be looking into. So, all right, call before you dig, and they will let you know where you cannot dig. They will do this for free. What is the number for that? I think it's like before you dig. I think it's not 411. It's a part of the X11 phone system. If you got it's a very interesting thing. Like 411, 511, 811, all those numbers, 911. That's called the X11. Like the X11 call plan or call system or something like that. So that's pretty cool. You can look it up on Wikipedia, but it's X11. But all those, they have like numbers for them, and I can find it. But yes, you're right, and you're supposed to do that anyway, because if you fuck something up, they're going to charge you out the ass. 811, yeah, 811 in your state, in Georgia, yeah. So yeah, I think that's national too. 811, I think, is national. But yeah, it's a part of the X11 phone system. That's pretty cool. So thank you very much for that, because I have to do that. All right, so we're going to be cutting these pieces here. Let me measure how tall this should be. I'm not going to have these pieces stand on anything. These should be a lot easier to cut than the previous pieces that I was using. There we go. A lot easier to cut than what I was using before. But what size is this? It should be up. Fucking full. This actually, oh, this is a 4x4. So I think I was getting like 8x4s, man. These fucking big ass fucking lumberous pieces. These things are huge. Or maybe, oh no, these are 4x6x8. That's what it is. 4x6x8. This is a 4x4, 4x4x8, and it was probably about $6 cheaper, but I just didn't fucking see it, man. And I'm semi pissed that I was going through so much, and I blew a switch partially because of that. I probably would have blew the switch anyway. All right. So let me measure out how tall I want this to be, because a part of what I'm going to do is I'll have the leg. I'll have a piece that wraps around that leg, kind of like what you see here. Speaking of great craftsmanship, let's just show that off right there. So I'll have a piece of the piece of wood there wrapping around the leg. So the leg will be inside of that, of course. And then I'm going to have another one of these pieces of wood, which is this piece here. And that's probably about, that's a 2x4. Is it a 2x4? Yeah, I think it's it's a 2x4. So taking that 2x4, or whatever piece I have, yeah, so 2x4. I got probably about 15 of them. So 2x4x8s, to build this bench, and the first half and the second half. But what I'm going to do is run these across the top of the. There we go. Run this across the top of the legs, and then put a piece of plywood on top of that. I'm doing that just to make it a little bit sturdier. All right. Okay. The panel upgrade on the house was $1,000 parts and labor, but that was 8 years ago. Yeah, and mine was a long ass time ago too. And so I wouldn't doubt. Like, I don't think I need my panel upgraded, thankfully, because it's a pretty big panel already. Like, this panel here is 20 spaces. And my panel inside the house is probably about 40 spaces. So I don't think I need more. I just need it reorganized and some of them coupled together, or like, just double tapping on a breaker. Now, double tapping on a breaker is supposedly not legal. I think you're not supposed to do that, but I mean, I think I'll be okay. Well, we'll see what the electrician says though, because this guy, licensed, insured, has a whole crew and stuff like that. So he does shit by the book. So I can respect that, and I totally understand. I'm a little bit out of frame here, kind of, sort of, but I'm still with you in spirit. I think I want, if I was to use this, as a guide, so let's use this a little bit as a guide here. So I want it to be the game boxes that I have in place for the outlets. Those are about 3 feet 6 inches off the ground. I want it to be 3 inches less than that, so that's 3 feet 3 inches. And with these 2x4s, they are 1.5 inches in depth, or right here in thickness, if you will. So 1.5 inches in thickness. So I got to subtract that from the overall height. So if I was just doing math in my head, 3.5 inches, 1.5 inches away. So that should be 3 feet and 1/2 of an inch. And then I got to think about plywood. The plywood is a 1/2 inch. So that's 3 1/2. So I should be at 3 inches, no, 3 feet 1 inch. And then I'll still have 3.5 inches. That sounds totally fucking wrong. Give me a second. Three inches. Yeah. 3 feet 6 inches. 6 is the same. Damn, why the hell does that look? 4 feet is 48 inches. There's 42. There's 42 there. That's 3.5. And then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah. And then 3 inches from 36 is 39. All right. Yeah, let's do that. 39, 42. Actually, it's. All right, cool. There we go. The panel upgrade. Okay, so still on that one. All right, good. All right. So there we go. Right about, yeah, there we go. It's just about right. So this is, yeah, there we go. All right, good. So 3 feet, 3.5 feet right here. And then this is 3 feet, 3 inches. So it's a little bit taller. So that'll be my work surface coming out here. So 30, that's 39 inches. So now if I have 39 inches, let's do a little bit of math, class. Oh. All right, so my total is 39 inches. So with the 39 inches, and I'm just doing the math here at my workbench here. If I have a piece of plywood sitting on top of it, and that plywood is 1.5 inches, so that's minus 1.5. So 39 minus 1.5, so that should be 37.5. So that's 38, 39. Okay, cool. So then that takes out the, damn it, what do you call those, man? The 2x4. 2x4. And then I'm going to subtract another 1/2 inch in terms of plywood. So 0.5. So the plywood, and I'm going to use the same plywood here that I have here. Yes, a 1/2 inch. Yeah, a little bit over a 1/2 inch. So yeah, we'll say like a 1/2 inch. So we're talking about another 1/2 inch in just the plywood alone. And this will get me around the right spot, but of course I got to cut the legs at the same length just so I don't fuck this up. So we're looking at 37 inches. All right, and that's 3 feet 1 inch. Yeah, let's measure that sucker out. So 3 feet 1 inch would have this thing right about here, and then we're gonna put these pieces of 2x4 across the top, and then that'll be like the superstructure in a sense that so the top the actual what's it called, top, the actual plywood would sit on it, because I don't want to get like an expensive piece of plywood. This plywood I think is fine, and I won't need this per se, but I'm going to, just in case I have anything heavy or anything like that on these pieces of plywood, I am going to put this on top. Honestly, I mean, I might not need it because these are like flimsy. This is in between a stud here, but although these are like thinner, I don't think I need to do that. Like, that might be, as BGS said, over engineering it, but I might not need to really do that. All right. Okay, so I might not really need to do that. Let me think about this, because it'd be nice to have it just as like, but then that'd be an extra cost. Yeah, if I put the 2x4, because that's almost the same difference as if I put 2x4s going from front to back, from the wall towards, you know, the outer part of the towards the rest of the workshop. Excuse me, to the rest of the rest of the workshop. I mean, I could put, you know, pieces laterally across to do the same thing, probably at each one of these studs as well, and then that'll be supportive as well. So, or just as supportive. Yeah, that might be what I'll do. Because instead of, like, you know, wasting, like, not wasting, but like putting whole pieces of this wood in place, it doesn't totally make sense to do that. Just working out the math in terms of like, I'm feeling this piece of wood here, although it's thin or a half inch, it's still pretty sturdy, and I don't know what I'm going to put on it that's going to make it, like, you know, that weak. And as I said, I can always put these pieces in. Really, I can put these pieces in at any time with the way I'll have this design, because things won't really be closed off like that. And this wood will just be the top of it anyway, the nicer side of it. This will be the top of it anyway, so it's not like I need to do any of that. So what we'll do is we still have to subtract the half inch for the plywood, but we'll re-add the 1.5 for the 2x4, and that'll get us at 38.5 inches. So we'll cut our legs to 38.5 inches, and then I'll just run those laterally. I'll run those laterally across the surface here, and yeah, that should be good enough. I don't think that'll be a problem to do that. Cool. Let's start cutting, and we need 10 fucking legs. So this will be a lot easier because these pieces are shorter or thinner and not as thick. So instead of the 4x6 that I was getting, this 4x8 I should be able to cut. No, I think I'm still fucked. We'll see. It shouldn't be as bad as it was with the 4x6, and it's definitely not as heavy. That's for damn sure. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do that. What did I say I need? I need 38.5 inches. Each leg, 38.5 inches. As a rule of thumb, I usually cut on the line that I make. And you have to be consistent with where you cut, especially with these legs, because that matters. Because then your legs will be coming out, you know, different sizes and shit. So this will be the first leg, and this will be the, what's it called, leg for everything else. Also, in terms of where and how I mark is important too, because that's the line that I'm going to use. This is why if I had the damn speed square, I'd be a lot better off. All right. Raindrops be falling on my shed. I don't like calling it a shed. I don't like who made me call it. Nobody made me, but now it's like in my head to keep on calling this shit a shed. It's a workshop, damn it. I think it was, I don't know if it was Don or not. All right. Cut a couple of these. There's my guide. My guide block. There we go. That should help keep it leveled, just as good as a sawhorse. So keeping these like pieces of wood, man, like you may not need them per se, but it's good to keep these little pieces of wood or these leftover pieces because then it'll help you with things like this. Like I could just use this right out here, and this will keep this leveled so I can cut it evenly. Yeah. So I need 10 of these legs. Out of this, oh man, this is 8 feet. 8 feet is 72 inches. No, 8 feet, 96 inches. Yeah, 8 times 12, 80. Yeah, 96 inches. And then with it being 96 inches, and I need 38 and a half feet, we have to do 40. So I should get 2 legs out of each piece of these. The only part is like, you're going to have waste or leftovers, which is why it's even better, especially if I had a truck or a flatbed or something like that, or like a trailer that I could actually transport longer pieces. And those longer pieces are also cheaper, which would have been a lot nicer. Oh, got a new comment here. Okay, it's a good idea. You should permit the electrical $50 fee plus another $100 for the inspector. He signs off and then lets you know what you did wrong and how to bring it up to code. Okay. Yeah, and along with that, for the inspector to come out, or one thing you have to do is like you can't bury stuff. You can't have things closed off or anything else like that. A problem that I have is that I have drywall work that got started in my home, so it's like exposed and open drywall. So if I get an inspector in there, there'll probably be like other issues that I'll have with that. And the only reason I stopped or didn't go forward with it or kept on going with it is because the guy, he was kind of like doing other work. I think at first, his he had a family member die, and I was like, well, okay, that's sad, but it's like it's sad, but it was just like, bro, I think you're just delaying it and you're saying shit. And then after that, he got sick with COVID, and I'm like, all right, bro, I understand, you're sick and all this other stuff, but let me just get with somebody else. So I paid him half for what the work that he did do, which he did frame up a piece of frame up the drywall, and I could cover it myself. Like you just buy the sheets of drywall and just like zoop, 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 and just put that shit in there. So that's not a big deal. But yeah, I needed some other pieces demoed and stuff like that. And yeah, and it wouldn't be hard to close up the electrical that he has exposed as well. But yeah, that's the only reason I wouldn't permit that workout right now. This is where I should have my clamps. I do have some clamps, I think should be in my shed, but I don't feel like going and getting those. And it's raining outside. Hold on, let me mute this so you guys don't hear that buzzing in your ear. Okay, so I mean that's not that loud. I'll probably keep it on next time, but I have to rotate it a couple times. This is a lot easier than working with the legs that I have for this bench here, this workstation here. So I am thankful for that. But now I just have to use this as the guide for all the other ones. So I'll mark it based off of this. And it's a lot, it's a lot easier because one, it's not as thick, and then two, it's also not as heavy, uh, due to the lack of thickness. Just gotta make sure these are even, Steven. And one thing I like to do as well is when I'm dealing with like pieces of wood like this, one thing like working with it last night, you always want to have like a straight edge or straight bottom, because you could deal with the top of your the top of your piece of your legs being a little bit uneven, like not much, like okay. That's what the $100 is for. The inspector already knows he will see other issues. The $100 to help him understand. You ain't shit for that. I love it. Yo, yeah, I did not read that. Another 100 for the inspector. I'm thinking like you got to pay the city $100. You ain't shit for that. To help him understand. Hey, listen, man. Listen, I know you see a couple things. Let me help correct your vision. Here's another 100. You know what I mean? Go get yourself some proper glasses, maybe some sunglasses that blocks out, any fucking problems we have on this job site. Yo, I love it. Oh man. Oh, that's funny as shit. That is too fucking funny. To help him understand. Yeah, man. You damn right, help him understand. So as I was saying before, I was so enjoyably interrupted. They usually cut these at straight edges. Usually, it's gonna be straighter than what I'm gonna do with what I have until I get a table saw and stuff like that. And then of course I can sand it down if I need to. But you can get away with your top being a little bit uneven because we can actually adjust these posts accordingly and then do things to level things off. Excuse me, in terms of sanding it down or cutting off excess. But the bottoms, you want those as straight as possible. So the bottoms of the leg, you want those as straight as possible. With that being said, since these are uneven pieces, and I won't get like say I only get 2 legs out of each board here, or each 4x4. I only get 2 legs, so they're cut evenly at the ends. So just match up the ends and measure from there, or mark from there. What I can do is that. Great. And what that tells me is like, now I got to cut on the line, but then make sure that I cut a little bit above the line on any subsequent pieces. Why am I doing that? And that's just because I can always take off, but I can't add more wood. So that's basically why you do that shit. All right. And that looks pretty. Only need it on like 2 sides. I don't need any marks on 2 sides. Help him understand. Yo, you ain't shit for that, but you totally fucking right. Oh, man. Grease those fucking palms. Make sure his hands never get chapped. I love that. I love that shit. Right there, bro. That's great. That's great, bro. Oh, man, you're great for that, bro. I say you ain't shit, but you are the shit for that. Real talk, they are good guys. Yeah, I mean, they're usually good guys, but, hey, they can always be better. $100 will help. Is the inspector good guys? Is the inspector himself a good guy, or is the Benjamin a good guy? Oh man. It's another thing, man. If I had this like, you know, down a little bit, and this is like one thing I worry about. You see how this is going back? Like now that I'm measuring this is like I wanted a 3-foot bench, but I'm now thinking doing a 4-foot bench, which would be a lot easier because the sheet of plywood is going to be 4 foot. So like that'll be really good. And of course, if I can get it to like you know, be even at the front and just come up right there, drill that sucker down. You don't have to do any extra cutting. There's no jagged edges that I have to sand or too much sanding that I have to do. So I might go with a 4-foot bench for convenience. But man, a 4-foot bench is a lot of workspace, which, you know, that might be good. I was even thinking like, you know, after I made this and this came out 3 feet, I was like, man, this is a lot right here. But the 4-foot might be good when I have a table saw and this here. So I might have a 4-foot section that comes out or a 3-foot section, but I kind of want to make it the same all the way back. Now, this is where I would be like, you know, again, going back to me ordering this building and not knowing that I could actually make orders on it. And, you know, I was being too hasty that day, so I got to take accountability on that. But with this building, I could have got 2 feet wider. So then even coming out 4 foot wouldn't have been like a big deal. And of course, I'm making this, so I can adjust the shit whenever I feel like it, if I ever feel like it. And usually once you put it in, you never feel like it. Just putting that out there. So my leg needs to be inside this line. So I'm going to cut a little bit on the inside of it. Yeah. Or a little bit on the outside of it. And that should cut there. All right. Noise. This blade is pretty straight. I haven't calibrated or anything in a while, but it's been pretty good. And of course, you got to hold it to it here. A lot easier to work with these pieces here than it was with the 4x6. I keep saying that, but you don't know how much trouble I had to go through when I made this workbench. Okay. So again, this is standing up straight because that was already cut. This is standing up straight as well. Yeah, these are pretty even. Yeah, they're pretty even. It's not bad. So I'll use the first one. Good guys. I use the first one as my guide. Just have to go from there. This is where, like, you know, if it was like pre-produced, I'd have like time lapses and shit. In fact, let's put this. Can you see? What can you see? Okay. So that's right underneath. Put the shadow here. Cover the light here. Okay. That's right underneath the 39-inch marker. So we're a ½ inch off, which is good because then the plywood is going to take the rest of that just about. So if anything, what I can do is when I put pieces of wood on this, like these pieces of wood here, these 2x4s wrapping around it, I can always sand these down to the right level. And then that'll give me what I need. So, or give me the quote unquote perfect height on this. So I'm happy with that. And what I can actually do is use this as a measuring stick now that I think about it. So let me frame this up here. We'll get this close. I think this is, which one is this? Yeah, this is the first piece. So yeah, good. So I can use this as a measuring stick for all my other ones. So I'll use this piece to measure out all the other ones, and then I'll still use this piece as like a measuring stick of sorts so that I can level this stuff out. The floor itself is pretty leveled, so if anything, it'll be off by maybe a couple millimeters or something like that. Yeah, nice and square, right? Like it's standing up by itself, real nice and square. So not bad at all. And speaking of square, this is for y'all. Take that L. Take that. So I'll use this L here to make that happen. Now, this is probably not the best because it might be a little bit uneven. This actually is not that bad. I'm not trying to force it too much, but and I'll probably do something like this, like have it rest on there a little bit, and then push. All right, boom. Yeah, man, it's like right out. That's like an inch, like a half inch off almost, just eyeballing it. But yeah, that's good. So I can use this as my measuring stick and my proofing, if you will, for everything else. So 38.5. And what I can also do is, if I'm doing that and I have to do this often, I'll just drill this into the wall. Yeah, I'll drill that into the wall. That way, let me get a screw. That way, it'll stay in place. And I'll do it low enough to where it should get covered up. So not too many blemishes after everything is said and done. All right. The biggest thing, though, is making sure that this is leveled. It's going to stay in place. Son of a bitch. I don't want to hold it because I need to keep this in place, but got to get the screw in there. So, all right, cool. Should be good now. Last minute adjustments. Oh, this is where, see, you can balance the drill on that sucker. This is where I need to use my level, because that way I can get more precise measurements. So this is off a little bit. I don't want to, well, all right, I don't want to flip this around because I got my measurements in place, so we'll just make this leveled. I'll make it leveled. And this is why you do these things, measure twice, sometimes 3 times, cut once. All right. Shit. All that work to do it to level it. I might put one at the bottom. Maybe. Yeah. Nobody will even know. Except for the people that are watching. Nice and square. Okay. Okay. I reloaded. So my pegboard is going to go a little bit higher. I worry about like moving down all the way there and then not squaring it up. Son of a bitch. What did I just do? Okay. This is exactly why I didn't want to go down there or go down to the bottom and screw this son bitch in. Also, I didn't feel like bending over, but whatever, you know, covering it up. understand why this is so far off the wall. There we go. All right, it's temporary, and the pegboards will cover up that hole anyway. So I can always sand it away. All right, cool. So this will be my proving ground of sorts. It's still pretty much on point. This board is probably not the most leveled, and there's probably other stuff that's not leveled. And it's also probably just not cut all the way leveled either. So many things. This is where it's good to have like things like iron or metal or something like that, something that's an engineered piece so that you can measure the stuff. But it's not off by that much, even with it being like, you know, moving side to side like this. Because right now I'm covering up the mark, but even with me covering up the mark, like this is the bottom of the mark as opposed to the mark being up here previously. So maybe just make a new mark. So from now on, one thing in terms of just like making it the same, anytime I put anything against this, I'll make it parallel or flat with this board, and then that'll be my measurement. So not off by much, but off nonetheless. But now we have a nice spot to where we can proof, make sure that we kind of keep a little bit of quality control. So this was the original mark. This is the mark after I leveled this piece of wood here, with 2 screws and everything. So yeah. Ooh, that's good. I might end this pretty soon. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, but let me cut a couple more legs. So I'll still use this piece, the original piece, to measure out all other pieces, and then I'll use this piece to see how they match up. Like this one here is a little bit taller. So yeah, this is like a tiny bit taller. Like I could take a couple pieces off of this, or a couple, like an inch, not even an inch, man, like an 1/8 or something like that, or a 16th off of this. But if you put them side by side, oh, this is for the cameras. If I put them side by side, they're pretty close. And a part of the issue is that the legs, and it's the same piece of wood, So this tells me that this piece of wood, and then same piece of wood, and I'm on the pre-cut sides. This is the sides that I cut. That down there is what is cut by a machine. So the wood bows, and that's one thing about wood that you do have to understand. But so this type of stuff I can overcome if I what's it called? Just kind of sand this stuff down and go from there. Yeah, I'll have to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this, because what I might do is not brace, but not the brace, man. Yeah, I guess brace. You use the vice grips. I forgot what they call them. But yeah, use my vice grips to vice grips. Damn it! Like my brain's going off here, or is off a bit right now. But use my grip. Use clamps. That's it. Figured it out. Use some clamps, put them together, and then I can use my belt sander over this, and then even them all out. And that's probably what I'll do after I finish cutting all 10 pieces. And honestly, all I need is 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I need about 6 right now. Yeah, I'll probably just do the 6 and make this first half of the bench, and then make the other half of the bench later as I get a table saw. The table saw I want is probably about $600. I either want to get the DeWalt table saw that I saw at Lowe's, or there's a Delta table saw. But I was reading the reviews. The DeWalt is probably best bang for your buck. Are you kidding? You cut those almost perfect. Yeah, man. I so what you're dealing with, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. But what you're dealing with is the wood. Like you'll see it. Like I'm cutting these. The wood itself is bowed, right? That could happen during transport. These pieces here, again, the reason why I didn't see them in the store is because they were outside of the store in the front. So like literally, you can just go by there and pull these fucking things and just put them in your truck. You know what I mean? So honor system with that. But I didn't see these inside, but these are outside, so they get rained on, a lot of sun. So they bow and they get bowed a little bit because of the weight of other boards on top of them, or other pieces of lumber on top of them, so on and so forth. And then also the machines that cut them previously. I mean, were they calibrated or anything else like that? But a lot of this is just because the wood just warps over time. And then of course possibly the cuts on either end. Like same saw, but if the saw is off by a couple degrees, it doesn't matter. It'll look straight to the human eye. But then in terms of like when you start working with it and you start to like, okay, these are two flat bottoms. This is the space I'm dealing with in between the two, right? So what I'll probably do is I'll clamp them together. And I can talk to my dad about it too, because he's a woodworker. He's a carpenter for so many damn years. But clamp these suckers together and use my belt sander to go over top of them, and I'll get them flat in a couple minutes. It won't even take that long, to be very honest, to get them flat. So I'll probably do that with the next bits. So which is the one? So this is my original piece. Okay, cool. Let's get these other pieces cut. And I'll just cut them for now, and then I'll worry about evening them out tomorrow. I just want to get these out of the way. Oh, shit. All right. I got this. I've been working out. I'm Batman. Nice and gentle. Daddy loves you. All right. Move this down so we can get our first piece out of this, or our first mark. And we'll use the flat side to do the measurement. Move this down a little bit more. That won't matter. Sometimes I put a weight on this stuff to weigh it down, but even I'd have to put like 30 pounds maybe to weigh this sucker down at its current length. So I'm stuck on the plug. There it is. Yeah, right. As they dry, the imperfections come out. Yeah, and some of these boards are still wet. So, like right now, it's raining. So we already know it's raining over by the store. So that's what happens. You just deal with it when it comes to wood, and wood is temperamental, man. It's temperamental because it's environmental, right? So, excuse me, you stay in a wood building, especially like this building here, when the sun gets like beams down on this and it's like high noon, one, it gets hot as hell. Two, oh my God, all you hear like the wood's expanding, contracting, and everything. Like, and you hear that, and then of course when it gets really cold, you start to hear the contraction of the wood. But when it gets really hot, you start to hear the expansion of the wood. And one of the things you do is when you actually build some of these structures, you keep a little bit of you put a little bit of slack in there, or gaps, if you will, because the wood will fill into those gaps. So that's one thing you have to worry about when you're like doing a lot of wood furniture or wood pieces. that you will have, as you said, imperfections in the wood. So this is why it's good to have things like a planer or something like that, but also a very straight, flat metal surface that you calibrate often sometimes, And this is some of the stuff that I'm running into or like noticing as I start to do this a little bit more. And it's stuff I know too, because it's like, my dad's been doing this for years, and I used to have to, as a kid, you'd have to spend those summers with his ass in his hot ass shop. Don't tell him I said that. And deal with and learn one or two things from what he does. Oh, fuck this. Oh. Yeah, I might find. I don't know if I can. I don't know where I can find a piece of steel plate. Especially one cut the size. Oh, okay. The weights work better than I thought. So it's about 20 pounds of weight, and that'll keep your shit straight. All right, cool. Another thing is like the saw blade too. My saw blade, I don't know how straight it is. I don't know if there's any problems with that, because I'm looking at my cut, and my saw blade could be off too. So, and that's at the top. But as you see, I use the bottom along with this L to measure these things out. This is a quiet stuff sometimes, just got to concentrate. This is why sometimes I don't do the streams on this, because I like doing this as like not a form of, not so much meditation, but it is really nice to do this type of stuff and have that quiet time to yourself, It's another reason it's important to have spaces like this, your own personal space, so to speak, that you can actually do all this on, or in. Another thing is not only the blade could be, it's in there. There's maybe like a tiny bit of give, but another thing is this board and what it's on is not totally leveled. So then the blade could actually curve in the wood or bow because of the wood itself. The wood that says straight, you might find at home. That stays straight, Sorry. The wood that stays straight, you want to find at Home Depot, you have to go to the premium spot. Yeah. Like, and I guess premium spot is like those premium lumber places. Home Depot is good enough. Yeah, and I got all I have in my town is a Lowe's. Same difference, right? But what happens is in these stores, they don't do their own cutting. It's some other place that's doing it, and they're pumping out. And, they're providing wood for all types of other places, too. And these pieces, as you even said, or as you kind of mentioned or alluded to, this isn't for, precise. You're supposed to make it precise. You're supposed to have the proper cutting blade, calibrated properly, whether it's a table saw, that's supposed to be flat, leveled. And then also your saw blade itself has to be calibrated properly. And then you can see the different angles and everything that everything's moving at. So if it's 45, it's a true 45. So like, having those pieces of magnets that you put on the blade, and then you're going to have to do that on a regular basis, man. Like, maybe every week sometime or something like that, or maybe even more or more frequently if you're doing a lot of woodwork. You know, another thing is it's like I have this at, it shows it at 0 degrees, right on the money. So that's another thing. But the stuff all goes out of whack. So what did I say? I cut up a little bit above the line. This side is the spot that I'm going to be using, so I have to cut on this side of the line. And again, as I said earlier, you know, like I can't make more wood. I can't add wood to this, but I sure as shit can cut some off, right? So if I make this a little bit bigger, then that's fine. Clamp them together. And then, of course, also like having it even here. And this is another reason why it's good to like have something like this screwed down into the desk itself. The only reason I haven't moved, actually, there's no reason for me to not have this screwed down. I might do that. Yeah, give me a sec. Let me do that. That's what you call bringing a bazooka to a gunfight. So what I could do here, use the L. Use the L to get it here. And again, this is temporary, so. But this keeps me from having to move this shit around all over the damn place. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, so let me just drill this down here. And this is why I need like the workbench and having this have its own spot, you know, because then a lot of things like this is a lot easier to do. One more screw. I might cut the rest of the pieces tomorrow. I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm going to take a nap and then go to the gym, get my 1 hour of walking in. Oh, that helps me. Like that helps with like, you know, getting over COVID and then just general health. Okay. All right. So just didn't move too much. And I have no problems like, you know, drilling into this like this because I'm probably going to cover this whole workbench with some type of material. All right, cool. Another thing that will cause, you know, the miter saw to be off is, you know, the pieces of sawdust and everything like that from your previous cuts. So that affects things. And that's why eventually I'm going to have this hooked to vacuum hoses so that I can have it clean itself. Right, this is rough work. Yeah, man. It's not always the easiest thing to deal with. Like, you know, with all this stuff moving all over the place. All right, so that's in place. But this stuff moving all over the place, and there's a lot of stuff that you have to do to make these cuts precise and consistently. So now that I have it like this and I have it in place, like I'm liking this, you know, like, you know, just making these small changes and it comes out to be like a quote unquote better product. Another thing I could do here is possibly clamp it because as I said, these pieces of wood, not only are they bowed, and I don't want to lean on this too much, but not only are they bowed, or they bow as they dry, they expand and contract and stay out in the elements and such, and not in the store. Not only that, but they're also not processed the best as well, you know. So the imperfections come out, but then they get exacerbated by they get exacerbated by the fact that they're out in the elements like that. So, you know, I'm trying to like put this across the backsplash of this miter saw here to make sure that it is like even and straight, because it's that iron flat surface. But I have to like twist it to do that, you know. Now, if it was like a square piece of wood, you wouldn't have to do that. You'd lay it flat on this surface, and then that's it. It should be square, right? But it's not. It's not. It's an imperfect piece of wood. Oh. And I might get like, well, I don't know if unless I give this to somebody, like just give it to them. But I might want to get like a miter saw that has the laser on it, which would be nice. Do I have? No. I thought I had. Wait. I got a light on there. I don't have a laser. I don't think this is I didn't buy the one that had the laser on it. I have a laser on my skill saw, but that doesn't do anything because, you know, if that thing doesn't have a fucking track on it, man, it just goes. That's it. It just goes wherever you like, you know, as soon as you move it a little bit, it'll go right off angle. All right, cutting. So just make that mark to denote the straight side or the bottom, which is obvious because you can see the cuts. Oh, so this is a prime example of, you know, what I was mentioning before. But if you, all right, that's because the pump. But if, as you can see, this is not a straight piece of wood. Like you're seeing curves on the opposites or right here on this side. You know, you can kind of see that. There's curved a little bit, even on this bottom piece here. But yeah, it is not, and it's almost like it's almost pinched into this piece right here. So this is where something like this, again, it's just a table, a piece of what's it called, a leg for a table. But something like this is what I have to. There's a lot of stuff that I have to do for this, or not a lot, but there's things that I have to do to make up for that. But this one's pretty close. Excuse me again. This one's pretty close. That's pretty good. Not bad at all. Let's see if it measures up. Try to proof here. Yeah, that's pretty right on the money, man. That's good. All right, let's see if we can knock through the rest of these because I'm starting to feel it in my fucking eyes. In my eyes! I'm tired. Okay, we want the bottom. Gotta have gloves for this shit, especially me, man. Like I really hate getting splinters in my shit. So on my hand. And as these pieces get smaller, man, you could just see it's easier to work with, flip them around, do all types of stuff. And then it sucks too because then as I mark this with the L requires you, or to a certain extent, it the L works better when you're putting it against flat surfaces, right? So then that helps you. But another thing you could do with an L, as long as it has like a good amount of markings on it, you can line up the markings on either side. And if you can get a straight line between your two markings, you have a straight side. So that's one thing you can do. And sometimes what I'll do is like a marking that's a little bit more pronounced. I'll use that on either side, and that'll give me my straight line. Like in this case, on this L, the 4 and the 6, because of just where they start, matches up. So that's good, or good enough. Again, this won't be perfect. We will have to do some work after the fact to make this like usable and not have too much issues when it comes to putting the rest of the table together. Because you're going to have some pieces that are off that you don't see because you missed a measurement or something shifted while you were cutting, and then that throws a lot of things off. That can throw things off for you at the end. Like a 1 degree of difference here. If you have a 1 degree error here, and then you go far enough, that 1 degree could turn into 45 or greater later on. So that's just how stuff starts. Okay. See what my battery is on this bad boy. Oh, this sucker's running low. Okay, so it runs about well over 2 hours on full charge. This little device here. I like it. And then most of these devices you can't run them while you are charging them, so that kind of sucks, but not a big deal. And we want this side. Okay. But guys, definitely listen to like Red Rising. It's a great book. I think it's by Pierce Brown or something like that. And I like the audio version of the book. I've loved that thus far. I got that on Audible. Okay, so we're gonna cut on this side of the line. I got that on Audible, and I've definitely enjoyed the series. This latest book, I haven't been too enthused about reading this latest book. I'm on book 4 out of the 5 books, and they changed up narration and the way the story's told. It's not told from the perspective of the protagonist. It's mainly told from the perspective of the protagonist, another person in the story, and a little girl. One of the guys is a thief, and then the little girl, and then a prince, or excuse me, an exiled prince, if you will. But yeah, it's a very good book. And like the fight scene at the end of book 3, fucking great. Like you could see it in your head. If they have to make this an animated series or use CGI because of the difference in sizes between all of the different races, if you will, or classes, or colors, as they're called in Red Rising, and which is their class system or their racism is based off of colors. So every color has their what's it called, their job. So browns clean up, obsidians are your Norse warrior class. Then you have your pinks, which are your sex slaves, pleasure slaves. Your violets, which are your entertainers. So like imagine LeBron James being a violet playing basketball, you know what I mean? And then you have your golds, which are that's the master race, if you will. Yeah, that's your master race. And then there are black golds as well, and they have high positions as well. So and then there's also Middle Eastern golds as well, and those are in like different planets. So it's within in our solar system, our galaxy, or our solar system, but it's far into the future. And they did things such as like the moon. It first started off as the moon rebelling against Earth, and they did some fucked up shit. So what they did to quote unquote win the battle against Earth is they euthanized the entire Earth by flooding the atmosphere with a chemical that pretty much made everybody sterile. So even if you said, hey, listen, we're going to fight you for the rest of our lives, blah, 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 100 years, everybody's dead anyways because you can't reproduce. Shit is crazy, but you don't find that out until later on. And it's kind of like, I only say that because it's not a spoiler. It's like, it's just something that's mentioned in book 4, you know? And I'm like, damn, like freaking book 4, dude, you finally mentioned this shit, how they won the battle. So you could do a whole prequel series, and they call it PCE, post something Earth or something like that, or post I don't know, I forgot what they call it. PCE is their time, like, you know, AD and all this other stuff. I'll read those comments in a second. Let me cut this. I just don't want to let go of this piece of wood because I got it in the right spot. Hold on. Oh shit. I got that stuck. I kind of put it down too fast on that. But yeah, Red Rising is an excellent book. Definitely should read that. Read or get the audio book. I love Audible, and I don't like reading. I hate reading. Like, you know, I'd rather listen to it. I can do, you know, I can clean or do work. If I wasn't, you know, a lot of the times that I've been in here doing all this extra stuff that I haven't streamed or anything, I've been listening to that audiobook. And I found out about this whole series last week, Thursday. And up until this week, I've gotten to book 4, and I slowed down with book 4. I can't say I don't like it, but it's just different. And then maybe I'm just kind of burnt out from listening every day, man. And this latest book is like 23 hours. All right, last cut. All right. Yeah, it's like the book is great. It's almost like Dune. Damn, that's on spot. That's spot on too. Good. All right. Don 007. Yeah, the shop size is 12 foot by 36 foot. Interior, you can expect probably about 6 inches off of that because of the wood, but your exterior is 12 by 36. Jay Bones, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining. Don, I think you have my email address, but you can you guys can always reach out to me at AOE4EVA@gmail. So I'll put that in the chat actually. EVA. No. But you guys can always reach me there, Don. But I think you got my email address. I want to say it was you, man. Like you were reaching out to me. Damn, maybe it wasn't you. I don't know. But there was another brother that was reaching out to me. But yeah, if you have any ideas you want to talk about it, maybe talk about it on the stream or talk about it privately. That's fine. I usually keep myself open to brothers in the space. I can't say I keep myself open all the time, but at the same time, I try to make myself available for others because I know how important that is to, you know, have people that you can actually talk to about like-minded things. You know, like it's very important that, you know, even in this space, man. I look at it really as a brotherhood in terms of like we're talking to one another. We're talking to one another. We're trying to make changes and improvements to ourselves and our lives. And I mean, I think it's very important that we do have conversations with one another on and offline. So that is 4 pieces. Okay. Yeah, we do this, like, you know, have these conversations on and offline. And I totally understand it. And I do talk to other people in the space as well that have my contact information, you know, and we go from there. And, you know, like I can't say that I'm busy. I can't say that I'm not, but I always try to make time for, you know, people and respond to calls and everything else like that. So I'm usually really good about that, to be very honest. All right, one more leg. Ooh. So with this leg or this last set of legs, I might need like another piece of wood. I mean, and that's if I make everything all at once, but no, I think this will be fine. I could probably just use some L brackets to connect the pieces together. And I'm thinking about like, having to butt these pieces up to one another, and they'll be 8 feet across. Excuse me. Because essentially this whole workbench is going to be about 16 feet. Yeah. All right. Oh, shit. Why did I pick the one that's underneath every fucking thing? All right. Oh, talk about imperfections. Look at this beaut. So this is what you get, as was mentioned before, those premium lumber places that sell lumber and then get you premium pieces, they'll take imperfections like this out or sell it for a little bit cheaper or regular price. But this is what you'll have. So something like this, even though it's an end, I might have this. Yeah, I mean, like I'm putting all the weight on this anyway, but even though this is an end piece, or maybe like would usually be a bottom, I may or may not have it as bottom. We'll see. I don't think it'll be that big a deal, to be honest. Worrying about shit that doesn't matter. All right, so this should be the last 2 legs that I cut out. I'm really feeling it and kind of running on fumes here. I don't know why I should be, though. I've been tired lately. Been working out at my desk. One thing that's good is like you work out at your desk and use some dumbbells. Just have some dumbbells at your desk. And you could just do like, arm raises like this. Then, I have adjustable dumbbells. So it's like 50 pounds. And then I can adjust it all the way down to 5 pounds. So 5 all the way to 50. And I can do my lateral dumbbell raises. I can do my dumbbell press, almost like military press if I wanted to. If I have my bench, I can do dumbbell presses. I can do flies, which is really nice as well. I can do standing flies, which is like even, you're fighting gravity a little bit more different from a different angle. But that's good to have that at your desk. I learned that from my former coworker Miguel. He's on Twitch. Sometimes he's in the stream and stuff like that. He makes fun of me. He's like, man, you always be talking about you make 6 figures and all this other stuff. I'd be like, man, fuck you. Some people need to know that it's possible that you could do it too. So he'd be making fun of me about that shit. But good dude, very good dude, very smart dude. And we talk quite a bit. Yeah, we talk quite a bit. But he's the one that he used to do that at work, and he's a very fit guy. So, and he does the whole bike riding and stuff, and goes on for miles. So, I took a page out of his book with that, in terms of working out and doing those workouts at your desk with like your own little set of dumbbells, which is really smart. Really smart. You can't make that excuse like, oh, listen, I don't have time to work out or blah, blah, blah. And it's understandable. It's just that, it's also understandable that you can do that. I'm trying to do this shit, but I don't know why. Again, like my brain is like not mush, but I need to get like a full good 8 hours and shit. It's another problem. I don't get a full 8 hours of sleep ever. I do like 6. I do like 4. Never do 8. So this piece of wood is definitely off in comparison to the other piece. Oh no, okay. It's off, but it's also just because. All right, I'm just gonna have to hold this. I'm just gonna have to hold this and do this with the marker. I keep losing this damn marker, man. What the fuck am I keep doing it with it? I need to put it in the same damn place every time. So don't keep making this. Can't find it. The L covered it. But yeah, you can always reach me at that email address, guys. I'm open to conversations. I actually will be doing an interview with Keep It Techie next weekend on his channel. So that should be fun. I do have to answer his email and give him more information about myself. I've neglected that, and I need to go ahead and do it. All right. But yeah, we'll be on Keep It Techie's channel. Finally, man, like I've been wanting to be on his channel for a while, ever since I saw that brother do some of his interviews. And I was like, man, I wish, get to that point where, I'm popular enough to where I do that. But yeah, his content, I've been inspired by his content, especially when I first moved in here. I remember making a video after watching one or two of his interviews and stuff. Definitely was inspired by the work that he does. So Keep It Tech, he's definitely a brother in the space that cares about the people and tries to add value to people in this space, which can't say everybody does that, or wants to do that. You're seeing a lot of people come into this space and they're trying to just take, they're just trying to get people's money, and there's some people that are really passionate. And the problem is that the people that are trying to get a lot of money in this space or around this space, from people that, frequent this space and frequent others, your Fresh and Fits, mainly your Fresh and Fits, man. I mean, and then, they're not doing anything different than the PUAs during the, the halcyon days of the MGTOW movement on YouTube. They're no different than the PUAs of that time, like a lot of guys are just looking for quote unquote father figures or people that represent a strong masculine presence of some sort. And you have people in this space that are not so much taking advantage, they are helping people, and these people are, as Ed would say, making the decision to buy these products and such. They were going to make this decision anyway, but what you're seeing is what's behind that. Okay, these people make this decision anyway, but like, how can we get them to make a better decision in the long run? Or if you make this decision and buy these products, how is it really helping you? Are you getting the results that you want out of it? And I don't know if a lot of people are. So, and sometimes it doesn't sound like it. As always, I do make these minor adjustments. The cuts are always easy, but once I make the cut, I can't unmake the cut. So got to measure, put the blade down and go from there. All right, cool. So that flat size there. Oh, great. That's kind of anticlimactic, huh? Just a little bit. It's fine. I wanted to make this mark anyway. Oh, like this wood smells like pine sol. But then again, maybe pine sol smells like wood. I don't know. Finkel is Einhorn Finkel. Shout out to Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Young may have been all over the place working on the house like you. You may have. I've been all over the place working on the house like you. Yeah. No, I thought you contacted me before, man. So, but not you contacted me at another email address, I think, or one of my business email addresses, which is fine, not a big deal or anything. But yeah, you can contact me at that Gmail. What type of work are you doing in your house? Need to fucking remodel my damn house. Spending all this money on this damn shop, and then my damn room is like under construction. I got like no fucking floors in my house. It's just concrete. But there's probably like a good $1,500, $1,000 in this bitch though. For niggas shit, I guess. Priorities. Yep. That's sizing up pretty good. Okay. Another thing you can do is like if you want to get stuff for the cheap, or just be on the lookout. Like I'll be at Lowe's, like literally, I've been at Lowe's every day for well over a week. Every day since Sunday, I have been in Lowe's every single day. But if you're at Lowe's a lot, whether you're a craftsman or something like that, you'll see like bags of open gravel and stuff like that, and you can get that for like pretty cheap. This one I'll use the L on more because the wood is just so jacked up. So I'll try and use the L as best as possible. This one's definitely going to need some work after the fact, but that doesn't mean I will slack on measurements and stuff like that, or try to make it as precise as possible, because the better I do here, the better it's going to be in the long run. Or it's going to be a lot easier to sand it and stuff like that later on. All right. Okay, comments. So this would be cool. Like, once I get like a TV, I'll have the articulating TV mount, and then I could be over here like doing stuff, and then still cutting, or be over there at that point. By the time we get a TV in here, that'd be one of the last things I do, because I don't want all that fucking. Well, there's gonna be dust on it anyway. Maybe I'll figure something out for that to keep the dust off. Definitely keep the dust out of the ports of that kind of thing. TV's probably the worst thing I could put in here. And I ain't getting no bitch ass TV neither. Getting like a nice little Sony 55-inch. Size is not the biggest thing, but it's just gonna be a Sony. Because I could got cheaper and get 55, like a TCL or something like that. I might look at the Roku, but I love the Sony TV that I have. The picture quality is amazing. The apps is amazing. So I'm all in on Sony for like every TV in this house. That's kind of one of those things where I'm just making that move. Cutting. Yes, I do talk to myself. Oh, okay. Oh. Does he have enough strength for the rest of them? So this one is high. Oh, this is right at the 38.5 mark. So these will be like maybe 1/16th shy of the half mark. This would be a good time to use. I got this 3-gallon, 3 amp, or 3-gallon, 3 horsepower wet dry vac, and I was using this in my sunroom as just another vacuum, and it was a lot smaller. But I'll be using it in here too. For only. So those flickering lights is definitely something I want to fix and get power a little bit more stable in here. A lot more stable, really. All right, so let's do these last 2 pieces and knock this son bitch out. And then tomorrow, all we got to do is frame them and put them together. Put them together. Oh. A lot of stuff will go up tomorrow. Kind of excited about that. A lot of work, though. Good thing I've been exercising. All right. And this miter saw is unplugged, by the way. I already did that. I said that more for me than I did for you. Anyone else watching? Any comments? Oh, I got one comment. Ooh. So this is pretty heavy. Submit, you piece of fucking wood. What do we got? What do we got? Oh. Oh, I got another comment. All right, so Don 007 started cleaning up the basement for more workout space. Got mad, turned into a remodel. Got mad and turned into a remodel. Yo, that's how it be, bro. Like you just start on one thing and it's just like I can make it better, and then you just keep going. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I know how that is, man. Like, I still gotta redo finish up the networking clean out or my networking closet, and finish up cabling in there. But I just haven't done it. And what usually happens is I just get quote unquote mad, or just get that we call it in Jamaica, you catch the spirit, or you just get in your spirit and then you just start cleaning. Like once a year, I clean out like everything that I have, like do a spring cleaning, and it just happens organically. And I'm like, I don't like this, and I'll go through all my bins, all my containers or whatever I have, and then just clean everything out, man. So yeah, in terms of this gym, like since I've moved all this stuff in here, I gotta take a piss. Since I moved all this stuff in here, now I want to Now I'm gonna put a nicer treadmill inside the house, and maybe even get. I was thinking about getting a Peloton bike, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get the tread. I'm gonna get like a $2,600 treadmill. I got it picked out already, and it has a TV on it. You can do Netflix and all that other shit. But I really don't need that. I just want it because I want a bigger one, um, that can handle my weight, my size, and everything like that, and that also has all the all the videos and things like that where you can like, do hiking and all that other stuff. And if I want to watch Netflix, it'll be in my sunroom right in front of my 65-inch TV. So it's just like, I don't need that small ass TV that's on the damn, or that small ass screen that's on there. But I want it to where it's like, it's connected, and then it gives you the trails where it actually, what's it called? Adjusts the tread and everything like that in terms of like incline, decline, and all that other stuff. I think the one I'm getting does a decline, maybe not. And then I wanted to get this kind of stair climber deal. Like, I like the stair climber at Planet Fitness. That one's actually pretty good. I spend probably like 20, 40 minutes on that sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling that night. But usually total like 1 hour of cardio. And then I'll do my workouts here. Cutting, not cutting, because this is not on. But yeah, man, that's how it happens, man. You get fucking mad and start putting shit together. What's nice is yeah, Don, if you want to do a stream, man, we can go over some buildings that you can get out there. And some people, man, they take these buildings, if not bigger, different sizes, or other steel metal buildings where it's not like a wood frame, it's a steel frame, put insulation and everything, and turn it into complete movie rooms. Oh my God. I've seen some sheds where you see on the outside of it, it's like, oh, okay, this is a nice shed or a workshop in my case. But then you get inside of it, a whole new world. Like, it's just, it has a nice movie screen, and you can get these things with different garage doors and all types of stuff on them. Windows if you want, no windows if you don't want it, electrical outlets where you need them. And then if you get, like a movie theater seating and all that other stuff, you get a nice big enough door, get a couple steps on it, bro, you'll have your own little movie theater. Run fiber or something like that out to it, or your internet. And then for me, I have the Wi-Fi in here now because this thing, cuts off all signal. But I've seen people do some really nice stuff. One thing I am going to do is probably one of the next buildings I'll get, if it's not the one in the back for shooting and vehicles and things like that, I'll definitely get one for a sauna attached to the home. So I have it butt up to my house, and then have it to where I have an entryway into that, and then have a nice little sauna and shit. So that's yeah, that is definitely something I want to do. All right, cool. Cutting. Okay. These like fine adjustments are like always the hardest. But I'm telling you, this is a lot easier than what I had to deal with last night or the night before when I was making this this table here, or this workspace. Because man, just to cut that, man, was just freaking, was a bitch. All right, so that one looks good. All these pieces are coming out nice, like pretty much exactly the same. Very little error. I want to say margin of error, but that is not correct. Ooh, this piece is off at the one end. And that's the middle of the damn... No, that's the end of the damn piece. Jesus. Oh, actually, this is not the same piece. I forgot about that. Don't mind me. I'm just saying the wrong thing. A little bit more. Too much. Yeah, way too much. All right, cool. Oh, wow. Perfecto. Tú perfecto. I can still feel like the moisture and wetness in this damn wood, man. But it's treated, so it's not like it's going to have termites and shit, thankfully. Yeah, that one's pretty spot on too. Look at that. All right. 2 more legs. We're done for the night. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Definitely can reuse them, but we'll see how. We'll see how. Oh, shit. Battery's running low on the computadora. No problem. So I need more outlets in here, but actually I got more than enough, I guess. What the fuck did I just throw off there? Damn, plug is too big. Do I really need this light? Nope. Probably won't matter. Oh, it does. Okay. I'm noticing that the power consumption between these two devices is not the same. Like the transmit side is sucking up considerably, well, not considerably, but sucking up more power than the receiving. And I'm gonna have to take another fucking bath after this shit. Or change my clothes at least, because this shit's all dusty. All right. Yeah, a little bit less lighting, but got to keep the stream alive for a couple more minutes while we get these last pieces out the way. Come on. All right, yeah. Last piece. Let's get this shit done with. Because I'm tired. Been tired for a minute. You know what's crazy is just in general as men, you know, we talk about this a lot in the space, or we hear about this a lot. Where women talk about, hey, can you build a house? What do you bring to the table? Blah, 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 so on and so forth. And it's just like, I fix computers. Like, you know, I wear gloves because my hands are soft and they're not calloused enough, especially like they used to be when I was working out and doing football and shit. But my hands are soft to the point where it's like, you know, I get freaking splinters in them easy, period. Like, it just happens like that, you know? But even as a man, I can come out here, I can do woodworking. I didn't learn this in shop class. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit more better than some people because my dad, this is his profession. But I can't say that my dad, you know, that I just learned from my father and we did jobs together. Like, no such thing happened. Like, literally, I would go to his shop and then like fall asleep in his office, which is usually hot as fuck because he never had a fan or AC in there. Or the most he had was a fan in there. And but you know, as men, we can come out here and do these things, you know, and like have the quote unquote propensity or affinity for this type of stuff, you know, like no matter what, which is cool, which is really cool, you know. And we hear this all the time, you know, what can you not do for me, but you know, you always talk about, you know, what do you bring to the table? But what happens if you really do build the table? Like, literally, I built this table myself, you know, looked at a couple things on YouTube, and now I'm using it. It's sturdy, it's leveled, it's useful, you know, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And that's like one of the great things about, you know, I guess I could say one of the great things about being a man, but one of the things that's different about men is that, you know, we look at this type of stuff on a regular basis. And yes, of course, you have women that do it too and all that. But I mean, the stuff that I've gotten into that I know nothing about, for instance, just dealing with, man, I used to own a hair salon. Listen, bro, I haven't gotten my hair cut in 2 years, but I don't know anything about fucking hair salons or none of that shit. Like, that is not my cup of tea. But will I invest in it? Did I invest in it? You're damn right, bitch. Yes, I did. You know, and that's kind of like the risk that I would personally take. Not everybody would take that, and not everyone should take that risk, because that turned out to be really bad investment. But you know, that's one of the things that we do, and this is one of the things that I encourage in this space for those that do listen, is that we take these risks, we put ourselves out there, and quote unquote do more so we can obtain more, we can get more, we can get the results that we want. Sorry about that. We can get the results that we want out of our lives or within our time on this earth, you know. So I think it's important that we take those risks as men, do things like this as men, and build our own table. And whoever comes to it. To be honest, it doesn't matter nowadays. It's just indifferent. And honestly, you know, marriage is just a rental by another name nowadays. You know, might as well just, at that point, marriage is almost like a long-term version of tricking. You know, the payments are stretched out over a longer period of time than it is than it is when you're sort of checking for comments. Marriage is, and again, this is just the sanctity, the beauty, the utility of marriage being quote unquote dumbed down or uh, devalued to the point where now even me as a man and other people as men, whether they put it in these words or not, they're looking at marriage and they're saying this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't have any real value to it. If anything, I can just get it when I need to, or have a long-term girlfriend. And as soon as it doesn't work with her, I can move on to the next one. I don't even have to marry her for her to have a child with me. As you guys know, I'll be on Plenty of Fish. And, again, copy and paste. After this, I'm probably going to do a copy and paste blitz and, send messages to 25 more people before, my limit is reached on that for 24 hours. Not cutting because I didn't plug it in again. But, I've seen, on dating profiles, I saw one woman. I think she was attractive, heavyweight. I like them big, but she was like, "Hey, I date white men only, and if I'm in a relationship with anybody, it's always in my favor." Like openly saying this shit, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, man, like you can't even trip to a certain extent because it's like, oh, okay, you're not lying to a person. You're being upfront of how you are and saying like, white men only. So I can only imagine what that really means. But if you look at it, she has a child. And I'm like, wow, you're still at a point of power. You could still saying, what are you bringing to the table? And quote unquote, get away with it in a sense, in terms of people being okay with you saying some fuck shit like that. And that to this day still amazes me, but that's just what we're seeing. This is the dynamic. This is what's happening with our society, where even as men that, myself, my current earning, my current earnings and earning potential, my investments, me having a home, me being able to work with my hands and tools and things like that and make things and actually make a physical table. Like this is a table I built. I did this, and even with that being said, we are still devalued as men. Our utility, what we actually bring to a relationship, is devalued, and also the sanctity of marriage and getting together and being with somebody for a long period of time has been devalued as well, to the point where it's just like, why even get married? I can have a girlfriend. She's going to have my baby anyway. It's just like, I don't even have to get married. Oh, okay, you want to put me on child support? Great. It's still not marriage. It's still cheaper. It's still a rental, so it's like marriage is just, to me, like, again, and I'm devaluing it as well, but marriage is just long-term tricking at this point. A little bit too much on this one, but that's fine. More is better than less. Yeah, that's just right up there. It's right on point right there. We stand these all up. What I hate is when I do this stuff and then it still has some unforeseen issue where it's just like, dang, why didn't you see that? You thought about it at one point and then now You done totally screwed up. Everything else is off because of it. I hate when that happens. So yeah, I'm gonna clamp these together, and they're pretty much all the same size, man. This is really good. Okay, close enough. Yeah, close enough, because yeah, those two are off. All right, last one. Get this over with. Get this over with and get out of here. Skedaddle. Skeet. Well, no skeeting, but definitely some skedaddling. Another thing is like, the relationships that women have with their fathers as well. Because I was talking with one of my athletes, and I supported her with her baby and everything, and I know the father. I coached him as well. Well, I was a coach, and he was on the football team. Small kid, scrawny kid too, Stevie. But I was just talking to her about her connection with her father, and talking with her dad more, and her involvement, or his involvement in her. He's always been there, but that's definitely not a problem. But say it's kind of like not strenuous, but the relationship is a little bit strained. And talking with her, just saying, hey, listen, adults need help growing up as well. Like it happens. Like adults aren't always mature or finish maturing. Sometimes they are still in need of maturing, and you see that a lot with, again, as men, we deal with these women that are out here, and even as men, we deal with our own brothers, on and offline. We're dealing with our brothers, and we're saying, hey, listen, hey, bro, why are you doing this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You're doing this fuck shit. You're not treating. You can say, hey, listen, you're not treating these women right, but what are you doing to yourself? What are the ramifications of doing what you're doing? Like, how does the way you're acting and communicating with other people, how is that affecting your life for the better? Is it affecting your life for the better? And in some cases, it is not. And some of these brothers are out here just running around, not giving a fuck, just as emotional as the women. And we have to not be that. We have to also not be a part of that, not fall into the fuck shit of other people. All right, I'm just rambling anyway. Let me get this cut. Not fall into the fuck shit. Damn, that's pretty good. That's it. That's the last one. All right. Bring these two over here. Let's get it. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but like the building is. Oh no, those are raindrops. Okay. I thought it was the building like actually moving and creaking, because it does that. All right, let's see what we got here. These are all our pieces. Pretty much all, yeah. I mean, you could lay a board across that and not have too much of a difference. So that's a good thing. What I could always do, what I could do is like when I clamp it together, just get a piece of board, level it, and then just sand down to that piece of board. So I might do that where it's like I clamp it and then put this board along across and then just run my belt sander across it and then get everything leveled. As I said, I don't really need to do that because some of these pieces I can have like right here, and then it'll wrap around. It'll wrap around the legs like so. And with it wrapping around the legs like that, there's really no need to actually have this leveled, because if anything, the bottoms should be fairly leveled and the tops don't matter as much. So I may or may not do that because I don't want too much variance, and that variance can cause issues later on. So we'll see what I can come up with, because what I might do is pick the lowest one out of all of these, and then just, of course, well, you know, you have to get it down to your lowest common denominator. So or your lowest common denominator. So once I do that, then I can run the belt sander over all of these and go from there. But I can do that with a piece of probably this piece of wood here, and then drill it into one of these and just run that bitch right over. But yeah, it's pretty good. All of them are the same size, or roughly the same size. So this is 38.5, and they're pretty much matching up to all of that. It's damn near straight, man. I'm actually impressed. There's not much difference, even with the wood moving or being bowed and stuff like that. It's pretty good. Alrighty, I've talked enough in this stream. Damn, 3 hours, man. Thanks for those that are watching, still watching. We'll watch the playback. I appreciate you a great deal. But this is what it looks like. You know, what do I bring to the table? I built the table, damn it. Okay. But anyways, yeah. Y'all have a nice one. No words of encouragement because I gotta pee. Talk to y'all later. Peace.